You remember Sermon on the Mount, Matthew chapter 5, verse 21 to 22? This is what Jesus said. You have heard that it was said to those of old, you shall not murder, and whoever murders will be liable to judgment. But I say to you that everyone who is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. Whoever insults his brother will be liable to the council. Whoever says you fool will be liable to the hell of fire. Jesus and James are saying the same thing. When a person's desire is left unchecked, this will not just lead to fights, but it can even lead to murders. Because if anyone gets in the way of your desire, and if they frustrate your desire, you will do whatever it takes to get them out of the way. The way one theologian said it, he said that people get violent, whatever people get violent about reveals what they idolize. So the theologian, the way he said it is that if you want to know what the idols are in your lives, look at what makes you get violent. When people start to threaten certain areas in your life and that creates a violent reaction, that's an idol right there. You're like, I'll never get violent. You will if someone pokes that idol. I already know what my idols are. If you get in the way of food, and if you poke my kids, those are the two times, and my team keeps losing, my professional teams, right? Those are the things that get me very angry, right? So you can kind of see what gets you angry reveals your idols because that shows what you desire. If you didn't really have a strong desire for something, somebody gets in the way, it doesn't bother you. Oh, you can't go to get a salad today. Oh, okay, right? You're not going to get angry unless you are in love. But if it's in the way of something you really want, violence comes out. Do you see what James is saying? See, your violent reaction, really, it's a problem of idolatry. So for your fights, the root of every fight is that either you or the other person, or maybe even both of you, are idolizing something so strongly, and that other person's getting in the way of that idol, so you start attacking each other because you see them as a hurdle to your idol. Now, that's what James talked about before about epi-desires. And so we see it come out in two ways when he talks about murder and coveting. Sometimes we fight because people get in the way of our desires, but sometimes we fight because people have what we desire. So what's the solution? If the problem is frustrated desires, then James, what are we supposed to do about that? Verse 2, you do not have because you do not ask. That's it. You do not have because you do not ask. Now, what does that mean? Okay, just pray for it. God will always satisfy your desires. Then you never need to fight. Is that what James is really saying here? No, not really, because remember, he's often quoting his older brother, Jesus, and the Apostle Paul mentions it as well. It's not praying for what you desire and God will give you the desires of your heart. That's not what he's talking about. Notice what he adds. You ask and do not receive, verse 3, because you ask wrongly to spend it on your passions. There it is. It's not that you ask for whatever you want and God will satisfy it. He's saying you're asking for all these things you want, but the reason why God's not satisfying that desire is because he knows this is all what? Selfish desires. Think about with your kids. Are you more likely to give them something that they want if you know it's for a selfish reason or if it's for a selfless reason? Right? It makes sense. I'm willing to give money to my kids if I know they want to do it to do a fundraiser for charity or something, but I'm not going to do it if I know they're just going to buy a Nintendo Switch game. And you think God doesn't know really the motives of our hearts when we're asking for something, what it's really about? I want to do it to glorify your name. He's like, no. It's not to glorify my name. I'm not going to give it to you because I know it's not about my name. No, it is. No, it's not. It's that epi-desire you're trying to satisfy. Because maybe you're looking for more whatever, right? Whatever that list is in your head. Prestige, status, honor, whatever, right? That's the epi-desire that God knows you are trying to do. And so here's the reason why we get frustrated desires. We ask for God to satisfy these desires. He doesn't satisfy because we ask with wrong motives. And so, since God doesn't give us what we want, we try to take what we want from other people who either get in the way or have what we want. Right? The analogy I give is that if my older son asks me for money, but I know he's trying to ask for it selfishly because he just wants to buy candy, if he can't get money from me to buy candy, then he'll go and take candy from his younger brother. That's where fighting's coming from. So when we fight with other people, what James is saying is that really, you're fighting with God. Because you are not satisfied with what God has already given to you. So you're seeking to get more from other people because you feel like you deserve more than what God has already given to you. Like, why do you need more of this, whatever that desire is? Why isn't what God has given to you satisfying yet? Like, why can't you, as the Apostle Paul said, learn the secret to life is what? To be content. You see, jealousy wouldn't happen if you're content. Murderous thoughts wouldn't happen if you're content. And so when we fight with other people, really it's a commentary on our relationship with God. We're fighting with God because we're not satisfied with what he's given to us. So you're like, God, I need a better life. I need this. It's not happening. Then I'm going to just take it for myself. I'm going to get it here and you're in the way. So I'm going to perch you to get in the way, or you have what I want. So I'm going to take what you have. That's where all fighting comes with. Our conflict with people is a conflict with God. That's why you don't have peace in your life, by the way. It's because you're not at peace with God. You're like, well, I come to church. That's not what he's getting at here. Peace with God means you are content and satisfied with everything he has already given to you, past tense, not what he will give to you, what he has already given to you. Listen, I know this is hard to accept because what that means is that we have to learn how to be grateful. Gratefulness is something you have to learn. Do you know that? The Apostle Paul didn't start off grateful. He learned the secret to life is to content. He learned. That's what he said. The word was secret. The secret to life is to learn to be content. We have to learn to be content. And so as Paul went through the different things in life, whether he had a lot of money as a Pharisee, he lost it all, he was healthy, he got sick, he was shipwrecked, he was persecuted. In all the situations, what he has learned, the secret to life is to be content in God in all things. That's what the verse Philippians 4:13 means. I can do all things through Christ. It's not conquering your giants, it's contentment. I've learned to deal with every situation in life with gratitude because I'm content. And that's the sign of wisdom here. The way you know you are wise in your relationship is that you are content with everything God has given to you, so you don't feel a need to fight for more with other people. Look at verse 4. He writes, you adulterous people, do you not know that friendship with the world is enmity with God? Therefore, whoever wishes to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God. Now, when the word James uses adulterous, you guys know what adultery is somebody who cheats on his or her spouse. It's a betrayal. And so the reason why we have frustrated, selfish desires that leads to fight is James says is that because we have a divided allegiance to God. Even though we are married to God and our desire should be for him, we have a wandering eye about all the possible mistresses in our lives because we still have a desire for this world. Right? It's that whole idea we Christianize our worldly desires. That's all we've done. We haven't really replaced our desires for this world for God. We just Christianize our worldly desire in God language. And so James is saying, no. Your problem is you still have a divided heart. You're not wholly devoted to God. Maybe 50% of you. Maybe every Sunday you are. Maybe even some of you are super holy, 80% of you. But 100% of you is not fully devoted to God. Because you still want that quote-unquote American dream of that, whatever that perfect life is in your head. But is that the life God wants you to have? Like we make plans of our lives. Have you ever thought about what is God's plan for your life? Is that what God wants you to do? It's just to sit around in prosperity for 50 years until you die? Now, I'm not saying money is bad. We're going to get to that, right? But you understand why this is connected with time and money. Because that all goes to the same idea. You think you control your life. You think you are the one that you're almost telling God, you're not even asking for his permission. You're telling him what's going to happen. You want him to bless it along the way. You see, that's a problem with pride, isn't it? Because whose time and money relationship is it really? Are your kids your kids? No. Who gave you your kids? Is your spouse your spouse? Is your church your church? Is your business your business? Is your money your money? We all know the answer to it. And so what James is saying is that you have this conflicting desire within you. You're trying to marry God and date the world. You're trying to have God, but you also want whatever the world has to offer. And he's saying you can't have it both ways. And that internal divided allegiance within your heart is playing out in your life with the fights that are occurring in your life.